If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your fatal words I will choke.
Happy Action Monday to everyone in the sports universe. It is February the 13th, 2023. This is the AM Drive on our Twitter and YouTube pages. For Aaron Crouch, our normal co-host, and Sammy Ashton, who cannot be here today, I am Michael Karvelis, saying good morning to all. And happy Championship Monday to the fans of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles fans who think the whole thing is rigged. I guess you guys can go join Cincinnati in your quest for blaming someone after a loss. Please go to MikeandAaronDrive.com to support the show. It's got our link tree right there. So it's our shop, sponsors, socials, and YouTube all in one place, MikeandAaronDrive.com. As I mentioned, Super Bowl 57 went to the Kansas City Chiefs 38-35 in what was a thrilling game. Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP. Although, to be fair, everyone on the Chiefs really contributed well. Mahomes did have a couple of really good drives, but the Chiefs won as an entire team, in my opinion. I also want to give a big shout out to Juan Thornhill, number 22. I believe he's a safety, maybe a corner, but one of those DBs back there for the Chiefs was playing very well. Nick Bolton had a great game. Chiefs had a really awesome game, in my opinion. In order to beat this Eagles team, you had to, and they were awesome. Unfortunately, the elephant in the room, still on people's minds at this point, is just like it was at the Bengals game. Oh my goodness, they missed a call, or they called something, and now fans are trying to blame that one call on why things happened the way they did, which is a load of absolute baloney. Like, it is an absolute piece of lunch meat that you would even think that, okay? So let's go back to the AFC Championship game where the defender clearly hit Mahomes out of bounds. I don't care which angle you want to stop it at. He clearly hit him out of bounds. It was a penalty. And Bengals never blamed the refs as far as I can tell. Now, Eli Apple went on Twitter and spouts off the mouth after this game. Not surprising. He also stinks at what he does playing football. But Zach Taylor, immediately after the game, was not happy with his player, not the refs. He was not happy. It was called probably, but he could not defend the fact that his player shoved Mahomes out of bounds. And I think he tore his ACL in the process, or did something because his leg was absolutely disgusting the way it bent. But that led to the Chiefs being able to kick a field goal because it was a 15-yard penalty, and rightfully so. But you can't call that in that situation. Well, which one is it? Is it A, it wasn't a penalty, or B, when you're proven wrong, I guess now it becomes, you can't call that. Yes, the heck you can. This notion that people have created in their minds that you cannot call it ticky-tack. What is a ticky-tack penalty? What does that mean? Does that mean my team lost and they should have called that play? Why? A flag is a flag is a flag. I don't care how you think they've been reffing the game. You have no blind idea what's going on in those refs' brains. And then you fast forward to the Super Bowl. By the way, Joe Thomas, now Hall of Famer, ended up saying that there was not a hold on the final play. Multiple analysts finally came around to their senses and said the Bengals player did hit the man out of bounds. Go figure. Guess who got called fat and was scrutinized, but whatever. And then you fast forward to this game, and James Bradbury clearly holds the jersey of Juju Smith-Schuster. Do I also believe that Patrick Mahomes was trying to throw it away? Yes, I do. But it was in the direction of Juju. And because the ball was 15 yards overthrown, yes, It would have been about less than 5 had he not been tugged. I have heard every stupid argument against this, and I have not found one that actually makes sense. Go figure. Why? Because at that moment, Eagles fans realized, and Eagles backers and bettors realized, oh crap, Mahomes has done it again. You know, for years, the same people who praised Tom Brady for getting DPI calls in the end zone on stupidly thrown footballs, they praised the man for being the GOAT. But now when Mahomes does it against the Eagles, all of a sudden, it's horrible. All of a sudden, the NFL is rigged. The hashtag NFL rigged has been trending for weeks. Please stop being stupid, okay? Because then, shout out to Marcus Spears, went on Twitter, showed another angle where the guy clearly grabs him on the right side and hinders his progress. They did not call defensive pass interference. They called a hold. Okay? Let's get that out of the way. Secondly, James Bradbury, like a class act and professional he is, went in the locker room and said, it was my fault. I thought I could get away with it, and I didn't. So the narrative went from being, where's the hold? Because I didn't see one, to, oh, holds happen all game, even though that happens in the trenches, and that's a little crap. This notion that holds happen all game is baloney. It's not right. Because I have saw many plays where there was no holding. The only other holding call I saw was not called in the first half when Juju, very funny, typical, ironically, was he didn't get the call. This time he got the call. But that was the only time we saw a blatant replay of a hold. Then it became, oh, well, he's just being told, James Bradbury's being told by the NFL. What? So which is it? Wasn't a hold? Now that it was a hold, you've been proven wrong, so he's just being told by the NFL. Why would he do that? You're calling James Bradbury a flat-out sellout. It's not rigged, people. The only time I've ever thought one play decided a game was the Saints and Rams game. The NFC Championship, where the Saints player obviously got blasted by Nickel Roby-Coleman. But even then, Saints had other opportunities to win the game. The Eagles had a 10-point halftime lead. And the reason it was not 24-7 was because Jalen Hurts literally lost the ball on his own. But no one wants to talk about that. What about Miles Sanders, who catches the ball, turns around, gets blasted, and that's called not a fumble, even though in real time it was clearly a fumble. See, we're not going to talk about that. It's only because Greg Olsen and Fox wanted more stories for their broadcast. I cannot tell you. They must have had about 5 replays after that. Oh, they can't call that here kind of call. Yes, you can call that there. It's a penalty. And don't say, well, let the players decide the game. That the players decided the game. They literally held the jersey of Juju. That's what was called. The players did that. The refs did not hold the jersey. And if you think the NFL is rigged, then don't watch it. I have thought Tom Brady's gotten some weird calls for years, but I've never once said that he flat out won a game because of the referees. That's not true. You have 70 plays happening in one football game, but that one call, even though it would have been third down again, even though the Jalen Hurts could not throw a ball 25 yards on the last Hail Mary attempt, they still had their chances, and they choked, and they lost, and they gagged, okay? But I thought Eagles actually played really well. I thought Jalen Hurts, besides the fumble, was absolutely fantastic. His story of getting benched for Tua, to balling out in Oklahoma, to handling it like a class act and going through with a draft, getting scrutinized by Eagles fans, and still performing well. Nick Sirianni, too, as a really good coach, apparently. It's a great story. But someone had to lose. I guarantee, just because I picked the Chiefs does not mean I had a dog in this fight. But what really got me with the Chiefs was when they ran it up on the 49ers earlier in the season. The Chiefs were no joke. Patrick Mahomes probably had his best season because he didn't have Tyreek Hill. Mahomes and Andy Reid are a duo made in NFL heaven. And to take this away from them and use the word given the championship to the Super Bowl is completely unfair and disrespectful to every single player you watch and support. And to say James Bradbury had to keep the narrative is really a low blow to James Bradbury and is flat out disrespectful. Notice how the narrative changes. If you ever wonder if you were wrong or not, look at how the narrative goes in your own arguments, okay? You went from saying it was not a hold. Then it went to, they can't call it in that situation. Then it went to, oh, well, James Bradbury was told by the NFL. Why? The only reason you say that is because you saw a quote of him admitting he was wrong. Oh, well, they told him to say that. So what do you need? You need him to go knock on your door? You need him to give you $1,000 and say, hey, pal, I did that. What do you need from him? Nothing's going to satisfy you people. And it's sickening. I cannot watch any close football games anymore without hearing about it on Twitter on why I was wrong because of a holding call. Dude, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it. But the refs, I didn't think the refs were fantastic. I thought the refs, like there was a few replays where the Devontae Smith catch, I thought was a catch like the rest of us until I saw that the ball did hit the ground and you have to complete the process of the catch. I get that. But Miles Sanders turning around and not fumbling, that was questionable, but it was still bang, bang. You cannot say the NFL is rigged and that, oh, they want their golden boy Mahomes. That's just not true. The Chiefs beat two very good teams. And to brush this off as the refs, you have no appreciation for what you're watching. Mahomes is fantastic. The Chiefs players played their guts out. And you guys just want to complain. Again, I do think Jalen Hurts had a great game. I love the future for that team. Devontae Smith balled out. A.J. Brown had a really good game. I don't know what's going on with Miles Sanders or why he doesn't play anymore. But man, we have got to stop this. The narrative this morning did not become the Chiefs are now a dynasty, but it turned into, oh, well, was the game given to them? No, it was not given to them. Stop it. Just appreciate the game. I told myself, I said, don't go on Twitter, Michael. And I did it anyways. And I looked at it. It's stupid. Like, it's entertainment. And I get that. Sorry, I lost my headphone. I get that there's, nice. It's good to have debates and it makes the sports grow and it makes it better. But then when people start taking personal shots, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't played football. What does that matter? What does it matter if I never played sports and you peaked in high school? So what does that matter? It's okay to admit when you're wrong. And I cannot have more respect for James Bradbury, who literally owned up because he knew what the narrative was going to be, and he flat out dismissed it. And I love that. Again, both teams played awesome. But one team was just played just a little bit better. Eagles and Chiefs had each other's blueprints, had each other's numbers. I played the better team won. But both teams are good for a long time. When I come back to this Action Monday, Mavericks traded for Kyrie. I'll expand more on that. Kevin Durant to the Suns. Ugh. And James Harden spouted off of the mouth. You will not want to miss what he said and why I think he's really wrong. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at AM Drive Online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Welcome back to Action Monday here on the AM Drive, presented by MikeandAaronDrive.com. And if you want the best in sports merchandise, such as the Chiefs Super Bowl champion merchandise, you've got to go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and do what? Click the F. That's right, click the Fanatics logo. And when you do so, the entire Fanatics experience is at your disposal. That's right, every league shop, the NLL, the NFL, the NBA, MLB, NASCAR, NHL, all of it is right there on Fanatics. But go to MikeandAaronDrive.com. It gives us credit, and for that, we thank you. Dallas Mavericks traded for Kyrie Irving, and I'll be honest, on the surface, on paper, it looks good. I'm a huge Luka Doncic fan, but by now, you might know my thoughts on Kyrie Irving. And to brief you, if you're new to the show, Kyrie Irving is one of the weirdest players I've ever seen. He has intentionally missed games. He does these fake social acts to pretend that he's some Muhammad Ali or whatever. Kyrie is a locker room cancer. And that's the only person I think I've ever used that term for. Because I don't like to, decipher the locker room. I don't like to analyze locker room stuff. But Kyrie's definitely one of those locker room cancers. And the Mavericks traded for Kyrie. Now, this sounds good on the surface, and you realize what they gave up and then who they lost to, by the way. So, Kyrie Irving leads the Mavericks without Luka to a win against the Clippers. And we all know the Clippers are supposedly going to be good again with a healthy Kawhi and Paul George. Who cares? I'm so tired of hearing about the Clippers. He beats them without Luka. That's cool. But they got rid of Dorian Finney-Smith, who is a really good 3-and-D player. And they got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie, who was really good as well. And now the Brooklyn Nets have their guy again because obviously the Kyrie experiment did not work out. My only issue with this, and it's a glaring issue and why I do not think they'll do anything, is I've seen Luka act petty as well. Luka, to me, is also a drama king, not in the way that Kyrie is, where he will skip games for no reason and then claim mental health. But Luka Doncic, I believe, got Rick Carlisle fired. Now, Jason Kidd, has he been an upgrade? Sure. He hasn't won a championship, but sure. And then you look at the Kristaps Porzingis experiment. That did not work. And I know Porzingis is not the greatest, but Porzingis is balling out right now with Washington. So why couldn't Luka make it work with Porzingis? Probably because there was another star and he didn't want to. Listen, each star has their own kind of game, okay? Luka's he is the star. And that's fine because he's really good at it. He's great at it. But you then ask a head case in Kyrie to come join Luka on the sake of winning a championship, it's not going to happen. And Mark Cuban, this might have been the dumbest move I've seen him make. I don't know what he thinks he's gaining. When you get rid of Dorian Finney-Smith, when you get rid of Spencer Dinwiddie, just to bring in Kyrie, you're basically saying, well, I hope we win it because, Luka can't see I didn't help him. Well, yes, he can. Because to me, I would rather have Dorian Finney-Smith than Spencer Dinwiddie. I know what people are going to say, oh, Michael, this is Kyrie Irving. Yeah, okay, and? Like, Kyrie Irving is one of the most overrated players I've ever seen. He is a point guard who acts as a shooting guard, but then wants to be called a great point guard and skips games and cannot get it done with anybody besides LeBron James. So I do not believe Kyrie Irving is the answer. I would have rather had DFS and Spencer Dinwiddie, and now they have neither, and they have Kyrie instead. I think they might fall well short, like in the semifinals, depending on who they play in the playoffs. Luka and Kyrie are going to clash. I really believe that, and I don't think that's necessarily out of bounds or out of the ordinary to say, because look at their past. Like, this is who they are. Again, I love Luka way more than I love Kyrie. But Kyrie is really good, but he ain't just plug and play and you win a championship. No, sir. And now it's even worse because Kevin Durant got traded to another Western Conference team, the Phoenix Suns. Oh, okay. So I do wonder, this is interesting. The Phoenix Suns and the Mavericks already do not get along. Not as bad as the Mavericks and the Clippers, but Mavericks and Suns do not get along because of what happened last year in the playoffs, where Mavericks upset them. And Luka was crazy and the Suns gagged and choked. So now you have Kevin Durant with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. There are people who say, well, Ayton is not a superstar. Yeah, that's fine. Chris Paul is that's fine. He's getting old. I agree. But to act like Kevin Durant was traded here as the answer is another knock on his legacy. And I will give credit to NBA fans for the last 5 or 6 years standing up for the fact that Kevin Durant did join the 73-9 team. They do not let him live that down, and rightfully so. Because sometimes, a lot of times, sports fans get lost in the sauce, and they forget things that ever happened. I'm glad they remember 73-9 because it means something. I'm glad they remember being swept like a janitor in the first round against the Celtics. I'm glad we remember that. Phoenix Suns, I don't believe are going to win the championship. It sounds nice on paper again. I think Suns will be better than the Mavericks. But I'm not sure about this. Because Devin Booker, well, he's gotten better at passing, and the Suns have taken a little bit of a step back this year. Chris Paul is getting older, but he's still a really good floor general. And yeah, DeAndre Ayton might be soft, but he's still a good player. This is up to Kevin Durant. Now, they should win the championship based on what I see. I don't think they will. I think the Bucks could beat them. I think the Celtics could beat them. As for in the Western Conference, I think Clippers could get them. Mavericks might have a chance, depending on how Kyrie and Luka work. I think Lakers are going to look better in the future. I don't know how far they're going to go. We'll have to see. But it's loaded right now. But I think Kevin Durant, it would be a massive failure if he misses out again. It would be a catastrophic failure because he's already on thin ice, if not completely melted all the way. But we'll have to see. Now, this is where the whole Big Three era in Brooklyn, LOL, all wraps up into a nice bow of crap. It's like taking a dump and putting a bow on it. Like, oh, wow, no. So James Harden, via the Houston Chronicle, which I refuse to subscribe for just to read this, basically said, looks like I wasn't the crazy one. Okay. At first glance, it looks like he's saying, oh, well, maybe he means Kyrie and Kate. No, he doesn't mean that. They're Kyrie and James Harden are now painting this as Boy, the Nets mistreated us. Oh my God. Okay, so now there's a bigger issue in Brooklyn. All of a sudden, Joe Tsai is a mortal enemy, and all of a sudden the Brooklyn Nets are just terrible. Get out of here. What are we doing? These guys catered to them. They fired Steve Nash because of these bozos. And now, oh yeah, well, their organization is corrupt. Dude, what are we doing? You guys sucked it up, man. You stunk up the joints, and now you're trying to save face by saying, oh, well, the organization. Man, listen, organize your brain first, pal. James Harden, the same guy who overate his way out of Houston. The same guy who bailed on the Nets, the first one to bail on the Nets when they couldn't get anything done. And now Kyrie Irving, who says, I'm just so glad, KD got out of there. I'm so glad. It was such a cesspool. You're lying. It'd be one thing if these guys had credible reputations. They absolutely do not. James Harden is a playoff choker. He overeats his way out of places he doesn't like and quits on teams. He chokes in the playoffs, like I already said. Kyrie Irving is a weirdo, and he is a locker room cancer 3 teams removed. And Kevin Durant has not won a dang thing without riding the coattails of the Warriors. So what are they talking about? And I know there's going to be fans that are going to be talking about, oh, well, Nets might be crazy. No, they're not. These 3 doofuses, it's funny, I remember being one of the first people to say it ain't going to work. Because they're head cases. It matters. Remember when I told you guys the Lakers were going to win it because of chemistry? And the Heat were going to be good because of chemistry? Everyone laughed at me. But now, we look at it, hindsight is 2020, and Mike said it first, it's 2020 as well. Because this right here is another example on why I have this title up here as part of the AM Drive. I like tooting my own horn sometimes, but I don't want to do it just to brag and say I'm better than you. I'm just saying, look what the NBA in history is telling you. Before you believe every single superstar you hear, I know everything they touch turns to gold. And maybe rightfully so sometimes. But this was a failure by the players. And if you don't believe me, look at their history of previous teams and tell me why you should believe them now. Because I do not believe James Harden or Kyrie. I haven't heard much from Kevin Durant, and I'm happy. Maybe he realizes he needs to shut his mouth. But Kyrie and James Harden just make themselves look stupider and stupider every day. It's really phenomenal. When I come back to Action Monday here on the AM Drive, is LeBron James the greatest of all time? You know my thoughts on that, but should the scoring title matter? Also, Aaron Rodgers into darkness. Oh, be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Welcome back to this Action Monday. If you want the best in sports merchandise and memorabilia, go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and click the app that's right, the Fanatics logo on MikeandAaronDrive.com. Support your team and favorite players and our show. And for that, we thank you. LeBron James became the greatest scorer in NBA history by passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a record that seemed unbreakable. I believe LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. That's a discussion for another day. The question is, should the GOAT conversation include this as one of the options, as one of the arguments? Yes, Michael Jordan fans. Yes, it should. And why should it? Because you guys bring up 10 scoring titles. Ooh. Okay, cool. James Harden has one of those. And we all know what people think about him. So tell me something, Michael Jordan fans. Why is it a 10 scoring title? Because because I was told by Michael Jordan fans that, MJ was about winning and not about stats until, you bring up stats. Oh, he had 10 scoring titles. Ooh. LeBron James doesn't care. And passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oh, isn't that funny? If you guys want to bring every single trophy thing you look at, I didn't know there was a trophy for scoring titles until MJ fans brought it up to me. That was fantastic. It's like you have 6 trophies, 5 MVP, 4 and 5 MVPs, and then they show the 10 scoring titles so it looks better. Man, get over yourselves. Yes, it matters to the GOAT debate. And I love when Chris Broussard, one of those Jordan defenders, went on First Things First and said, well, Nick, he says, the record is not as important as you think. Really? Could it be because Michael Jordan didn't do it, it's all of a sudden not as significant? And could it be, hear me out, that no one thought it could be broken so no one talked about it? Duh. That's the issue here. The issue is not, is it a great achievement as it contributes? Yes, it is. The issue here is, why didn't we talk about it sooner? Probably because no one thought LeBron could do it, and he did it anyways. He says, dang all that. Guys, he is number 4 in assists all time as a pass first, not clutch player, and past Kareem. Let that sink in. Brush it off his longevity. Brush it off his stat padding all the heck you want to. You cannot deny it is there. For years, 10 scoring titles was shoved in our faces on these stupid graphics. But now, when it's LeBron's turn, oh no. No, oh yeah. It matters because it matters to y'all. And now it doesn't because there's another argument against Michael Jordan. And you know what's also think about Michael Jordan? So he released a Michael Jordan Day on February the 3rd. Like, happy Michael Jordan Day because it's now 2-3. Ooh, whatever. You stole Kobe's idea, pal. Anyways, then during the Super Bowl, after LeBron has got the scoring title, he knew it was coming too. There's a movie about him in shoes. Oh my God. The insecurities of this idiot loser is one of the funniest things in the NBA today. Not only is he running the Charlotte Hornets franchise into the living dirt, he is so insecure, did not even show up for LeBron to be the scoring record. Kareem, took the basketball, gave it to LeBron James. And Michael Jordan probably wasn't even watching. Wouldn't that be fun? Isn't that cute? this tough winner. Apparently he's a sore loser. Because as LeBron keeps getting these records, LeBron keeps setting the new standard of what is great. Oh, well, this guy's 6-0. He won 6 of them. Help! We're falling. Yeah, I know. It's got to hurt, man. Michael Jordan's a great player. But this notion that no one can touch his Royal Highness it's fantastic. Like, guys, can we just give other players credit here? What Jordan did was fantastic, especially with no social media. But LeBron James has taken that and times it by 10. And it's okay to admit that. Because in 50 years, there might be another greatest player of all time. The game gets better because people learn from their previous players. And as more exposure comes, more people who are talented will join. Yes, this matters. Whether you like it or not, for the reasons I mentioned. Go James. Aaron Rodgers is taking a darkness retreat, whatever that is, to contemplate if he's going to retire or not. And I just want to preface my comments by saying this. I think Aaron Rodgers is a very talented quarterback. I've always been on the hype train that he is better than Tom Brady. I don't care. 7 rings be darned. I don't care about that. But I feel like Aaron Rodgers could just make throws Tom Brady couldn't make if he dreamed about them. Okay? So, Aaron Rodgers, though, his biggest enemy has been himself. Okay? Tom Brady had the benefit of a system that let those little tough guys who are no names play well. But he also had to develop chemistry with them in the offseason and in the practice. And it doesn't seem like Aaron Rodgers does that with young guys, which is why Alan Lazard did not bloom until the second half of the season, probably. But now people are making fun of this darkness retreat. Well, why can't you figure it out? I don't know. Why did Tom Brady retire for 35 days? We didn't think about that one, did we? Then he literally changed his mind. How'd you people going nuts? Oh, he's retiring. No. Oh, he's back. Yay. And then when he retires this time, it's another joke. But Aaron Rodgers cannot do one of his own personal things and just take a few days off. You guys are dumb. It's just magical the way people paint these narratives about certain players and never do anything about this. They run with them. They just run marathons with these narratives. It's sad. It's very sad. I think Aaron Rodgers still has something left in the tank. I wouldn't be surprised if he hung it up. At this point, I don't know who we would go to. I wouldn't mind him on the Colts. I know what you're going to say. Well, they have another old quarterback. Yeah. Matt Ryan was behind a crappy offensive line. If they bulk up the O-line, I feel like Aaron Rodgers could be pretty good. Like, why couldn't he be? Yeah, was he not great against the Lions? Sure. But is he also just a year removed from back-to-back MVPs? Yeah. And I feel like he was playing better what Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan were at that point of their careers. It's okay to admit that. But I hope we get Bryce Young. I know people are saying, well, Will Levis. Oh, yeah, Carson Wentz 2.0. I am not one to compare players, but that is one of the most frustrating players I've ever watched. He would make the dumbest throws sometimes, just like Carson Wentz, and that's why I compared him to Carson Wentz 2.0. Also, the Colts hired the Streichen guy, Streichen. So guess what, Jeff Saturday haters? It's time to show yourselves the door and go away. Apparently, Jeff Saturday was just the interim. You're welcome. It would have been nice to have Jeff Saturday there, but I feel like this offensive coordinator is going to do wonders. The way they plugged and played A.J. Brown this year was pretty sweet. And I'm not even mad at it. So go Colts. That's why I'm wearing the jersey today. Oh, and by the way, do I have it with me right now or is it down here? Ah, here it is. In honor of the Eagles losing and Daniel Jones only going to take another step with a new contract, Giants are probably my second favorite team or third behind the Falcons. I don't know. I go back and forth with the Falcons and the Giants. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Colts fan, but to all Eagles fans, your crowning achievement was 3-0 against the coach of the year. But you lost to the Chiefs. It happens to the best of the teams. It happens. It does. Ask the Bengals. Oh, the referees. Yeah, okay. It feels so good to be right. You guys have a great day. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. We've been inconsistent with the uploads. I get it. There's been some things happening in our personal lives. I have been producing the Daily Dive, which, if you haven't clicked off at this point, is a lacrosse show hosted by Renee Washington. I'm her little henchman, and we talk about all things box lacrosse. Really fun sport, by the way. I'm not tooting my own horn here. That's a really fun sport to watch. Look it up on ESPN Plus in the lacrosse section. Aaron's got a kid, so there's that. And Sammy comes on when he can. But that's it for now. I'm not going to rumble on anymore. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Follow us at AM Drive TV. Check out MikeandAaronDrive.com. And for Sammy Action and Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Karvelis. Oh, and by the way, XFL is coming soon. And yeah, I'm going to talk about it. So, adios.